Good morning, family. It's SpannFlower here. Thank you for taking some time with me this morning. It is Friday, October the 20th. And normally today we would have Freaky or Fun Friday, but not today. It's more like a frightening Friday, okay? Because there's so much stuff going on. And so here on the channel today, we are going to cover three topics of discussion that we need to know about. So without further ado, we're going to get right to it. We're going to breeze through these topics, just food for thought for the mind, so that we can know what's going on outside the country and inside the country. So these are geopolitical matters that we need to discuss. And what I would like to do is I'm going to read out a couple of them because I've already researched and written it out. But I want to miss anything. So a lot of times when I do this, put my glasses on, make sure I'm writing everything down because the situations are so fluid that you don't get a chance to sit and rehearse and memorize all of this. So I'm doing these things right off the cuff. So without further ado, and let me just say, and I always forget to do this. If you like the video, post a comment, subscribe, share, like, do all those things so I can let people know SpannFlower is here and I'm here for you all. Okay, so the first topic that I want to get to, and let me put my glasses on for this so I can see you all better. Love that. Okay, the first topic that we're going to go over is Joe Biden. President Joe Biden gave a State of the Union like address last night about all the wars that our allies are embroiled in, from Israel dealing with Hamas to Ukraine dealing with Russia. And so there are several points that I wanted to point out from his speech last night. And they are as follows. President Biden, he iterated his support for Israel and Ukraine. That's the first thing he did. Secondly, he called out Russia, or actually Vladimir Putin, who is the president of Russia, and the Hamas terror group is what they're classifying them as. So he called them out yesterday in the State of the Union, or I wouldn't say State of the Union address, just the national speech that he gave last night. So he called them out and mentioned them flaming the fans of war or starting the wars in their respective areas. Okay, so he talked about that. He laid out his reasons why the United States why the United States are their allies and why we should help them during their times of need. So he gave full-throated support of what he wants to do to help these countries out during their wartime situation. He also stated that he will be sending a massive foreign aid package or spending package, or however you want to classify it, to help the countries of Israel and Ukraine to help fight against their wars. Now, certain sources are saying that this could get up to $100 billion or more. So we'll have to see about that because it is just an estimated amount. And we don't have the text in front of us about what he's trying to send or if he's already sent it or whatever the case may be. Now, next thing, Joe Biden was in Israel earlier this week, and he had just gotten back, and then he went on to do the speech last night. And so he again over there in Israel gave his full-throated support for that. And he also did say something about the hospital being bombed, and he made sure to clarify that the United States doesn't feel that Israel did that act. So he made sure to put that in there because the Palestinian hospital was bombed there, and he's saying that Israel didn't do it. So it's another thing. So, all right. So what we take away from this is President Biden is going to be sending a massive aid package to Ukraine. Was going to be sending a massive aid package to the United States Congress for them to approve to assist Ukraine and to assist Israel in their fight against terror or fight against occupation, or as he would call it, people trying to take away their democratic rights. Okay, so that's what we need to pay attention to. And not to mention, Biden also mentioned the 6-year-old child that was killed here in the Chicagoland area. His name was Wadia Al Fayoumi, who was stabbed 26 times on Saturday by his family's landlord in Plainfield Township. That was a tragedy, okay? This young child was of Palestinian lineage, and racial issues and just the hatred back and forth was the reason this young child lost his life, which didn't really make any sense, and it just was a senseless act. And his mother was also injured in the situation. It was bad all the way around. And the Chicago news media did report on that, but it just so senseless violence. Child 6 years old. What has he ever done to anyone? So they do have the suspect in custody, and we'll talk more about that in local news. But right now, I just. That's really bad, really bad. Now, last thing, President Biden did say that that he denounced all forms of hatred, anti-Semitic tropes, and all of that. So he just, laid out a clear cut situation that he's trying to deal with these wars and the hatred and all the vitriol that's going on surrounding you know, uh, Israel, as usual, they deal with a lot of that. So, we're going to say a prayer for the countries and the countries involved, and hopefully this war can be resolved. But it looks as if this is going to be a full ground invasion into an area that, into the, into that Gaza area there. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Every time I think about it, I get concerned because it's other neighbors in that region and it doesn't want to escalate into something so catastrophic. Just war at any time is really a bad thing. And so I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that we headed for another war? Should we be preparing ourselves? I mean, like, what's really going on here? So we got to pay attention to that, and I will be reporting extensively on this because this is a serious situation, and so we need to pay attention to it. So it's not very often that the president will go on air and talk about uh, a wartime situation on national or do a national speech about it. So it must be really important. And half the time, we only get some portions of the what's going on. We don't get the full breadth of what's happening. So we'll pay attention to that on the SpannFlower channel for sure. As a historian, I definitely need to make sure that I'm documenting this time because I'm living in these times. Okay, and it's things that we need to know about. Okay. The second thing that I want to cover, oh my goodness, is the debacle that's going on, the absolute dysfunction that's going on at our capital in Washington, D.C. Now, first, as you very well know, Kevin McCarthy, who was the former Speaker of the House, was removed from his office. Okay? So now, they had a speaker in mind, which was Jim Jordan, to replace him. And after 2 rounds of voting, he was not able to secure the votes. So when the Speaker of the House is not available, they have a pro tempore, and I believe that's what it's called. His name is Patrick McHenry. He's a Republican from North Carolina. And so it looks as if Jim Jordan is going to table his run for Speaker of the House because he couldn't capture the votes, and he's going to throw support behind the Speaker pro tempore, Patrick McHenry, and so they're going to try to get some business done for the country. Because if you don't know, Congress, the House of Representatives, handles the purse strings for the country. So they have funding bills, spending bills. I mean, they have so much that they have to do that's been put on hold because of this ridiculousness at the Capitol. That's what I would have to call it. Just absolute. The country cannot run in this fashion and in this manner. It's just too chaotic, and it's just too. It's just a debacle. I'll say that dysfunction at the highest level. Okay, now, uh, so if Joe Biden, I'm sorry, if Joe Biden needs to send a spending bill to the the House of Representatives to pass out or to pass, and they're not in session and they're not together and they're not doing any work and they don't even have a speaker of the house. How can this, I don't understand this. I'm just want to know, what are you doing, Republicans? Why are you doing this? Now, I know this situation came up before the the speaker of the house issue came up before this wartime situation with Israel, but we were still warring, and Ukraine was still having that war with Russia at the time. So we need all factions of the government to be working properly. This is very important. Okay, we can't. No, we got to do better. All right, now the last thing that I want to cover today is the UAW strike. Now, I live in the city of Chicago, as I've said before, and we have a Ford plant that's in the city, Chicagoland area. It's on the south side of the city of Chicago. So every time I drive down Torrance Avenue or drive down Avenue O, I see the strikers out there. And this strike has been going on for a month now. Okay, it started on September 15th. So listen to me. If we are in a wartime situation, or if we're preparing funds and doing what we can to help our allies, we need all of our manufacturing capacities to be in order. This is not, I don't know how they can resolve this matter, but it needs to be resolved because we are in perilous times right now, and we need all of our functioning bodies, especially those that make things like transportation vehicles and all of that, to be working accordingly. So all of these things go hand in hand. That strike needs to end. The money is being the plants are sitting still. Workers are getting laid off in the Chicagoland area, elsewhere. There's thousands of people that have been laid off already. So again, all of this stuff it's just goes hand in hand. The country needs to be together right now, and they need to resolve whatever little issues we have. We need to be getting those resolved so that we can pay close attention to what's going on, because we really look chaotic and don't have ourselves together. So that leads for bad actors, as they would call it, or people that are not, or countries that are not friendly to the United States, to try to do what they want to do to capture wherever they're trying to capture, if they feel like it's a territory that they want. And the United States has sworn to defend all these countries, okay? And so we need to make sure we on one accord with this. And so that's very important. And I say that because those car manufacturers, they manufacture. You don't never know what we might need to do going forward. So we want to make sure we pay attention to that. So again, top 3 things we need to know. Firstly, President Joe Biden gave a wartime speech last night, and that's not something the president normally does. Secondly, the Speaker of the House has not been decided upon, so they're going to go with the interim Speaker, Henry from North Carolina. And so hopefully that will go through. It's a Republican. They should be able to get on one accord with that. And lastly, this UAW strike that has been going on for a month now and has seen thousands of people being laid off because the assembly plants are not working or not producing cars. So those persons that are essential to making the components that need to go to the cars are not working. So not to mention that the workers are out of strike. You know, it's getting cold outside. Come on, country, let's get it together. So anyway, let me state this again. If you like this video, subscribe, share, post a comment. What do you think? Are we headed towards a war, or is the country going in the wrong direction? Post your comments on the channel. Let me know, and I'll be sure to respond if I... Okay, well, this is all I have for today. It's more like a frightening Friday for me. A semi-frightening Friday, I say. It's not freaky, it's not fun, but, you know, based on what's going on, we have some issues. Okay, so have a good day, family, and I'll be back for you all later on. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.